Welcome as part of our continuing coverage where we're attempting to talk to lawyers, academics, politicians, and especially professors, anybody with a well thought out or researched opinion on national divorce. We were able to get a hold of Cornell Law School professor Michael Dorf. Now, we weren't able to get an interview, so we're not calling it an interview like we did with the others. We were really only able to get one question answered out of Professor Dorf, but it was a huge one. He basically backed up our analysis that Marjorie Taylor Greene did not say anything illegal or do anything illegal or commit treason or sedition when she made her famous tweet calling for national divorce. Many, many people said that she had broken laws and that what she did was unconstitutional and treasonous. In fact, two separate federal prosecutors made that same suggestion. We fought back and said, we've been accused of treason and sedition and insurrection before, and so we know a little bit about this, and what she said doesn't match any of those. But nobody was backing up that analysis. In fact, today we still can't find anybody doing that. We were able to get a hold of Michael Dorf, the Cornell Law School professor, and ask him, did Marjorie Taylor Greene commit treason, commit a crime with what she did? Yes or no? Let's take a look. I'll show you what we found. Hey, how's it going? Okay, let me show you the little bit of information we were able to get and what that means. So today's show is about one question with Professor Michael C. Dorf, the Robert S. Stevens Professor of Law at Cornell Law School. There's the professor there at Cornell Law School. Originally, he came on our radar for writing this book, No Litmus Test, Law versus Politics in the 21st Century. He did write that a while back, which is initially he didn't even want to really talk to us because he said, hey, I wrote that so long ago, but it's very relevant. On page 82 of the book published March 9, 2006, he says, and indeed, the Supreme Court in Texas versus White recognized that secession by mutual agreement stands on different footing from unilateral secession. Secession by mutual agreement stands on a different footing from unilateral secession. After finding against the state's right of unilateral secession, the court acknowledged an exception for secession through revolution or consent of the states. So consent to the states in Texas versus White is the only Supreme Court case on secession and does say there is an option for secession through consent to the states. It does not ban all secession. It only bans unilateral secession, hence his phrase, secession by mutual agreement stands on a different footing from unilateral secession. That's also what Abraham Lincoln suggested in his first inaugural address. So we reached out to him because he backed up our understanding of Texas versus White. And here's the conversation that happened. So I talked to Professor Dorf on March 28th at around noon, 12:07 p.m. I said, I read your article and I'd like to request an interview for our National Divorce series. He didn't really want to do that. I said, well, I only want to ask you one question. You wrote in 2006 that there's a difference between law versus politics. People may not like the idea of secession, but there was a legal way to do it through consent to the states. This is what I said to Professor Dorf. Recently, when MTG made her national divorce tweet, people talked about secession. Many politicians, lawyers, and media personalities said she is committing treason. MTG said she wanted a negotiated settlement. I was hoping to get clarification on if calling for a negotiated settlement under the guise of Texas versus White ruling that you can secede with consent to the states qualifies her as doing something illegal or treasonous. No one is clarifying this in the media. So I pointed out that Marjorie Taylor Greene said a negotiated settlement is what she was looking at. We know that Texas versus White says you can secede with consent to the states. So given that there is a way to secede, and given that she did say negotiated settlement, can we assume that she's doing something treasonous or illegal or unconstitutional? And this was his response. It's certainly not treason. This is from Professor Michael Dorf of Cornell Law School when speaking about Marjorie Taylor Greene. It's certainly not treason, which requires attempting to overthrow the government or providing aid to the enemy in war. Nor is it illegal to speak in favor of a legal process, even if the legal process won't be effective in achieving one's goals. So he's not a supporter of national divorce. This legal process won't achieve your goal. I would point out he's a professor of law and not politics, and this statement right here is a political statement. This is not a legal statement. That's a political statement. These are legal statements. This is a political statement. So the legal statement is what Marjorie Taylor Greene said is not treason. She's not asking to overthrow the government, and she did not say, hey, I want to help Al-Qaeda or Russia or China destroy America. It's also not illegal to speak in favor of a legal process, Texas versus White, and consent of the states. So Marjorie Taylor Greene did not commit treason, and she did not do anything wrong by calling for national divorce, because we do have a legal mechanism here in Texas versus White, and she did say consent, which means you can't preclude her from those ideas. So it's not treason, and it's totally legal to speak about Texas versus White. So that was the main thing we were able to get, and I wanted to show you that. The reason that that's important is because we had done a show here recently where we had argued the legal definition of treason, insurrection, and sedition, and we said, analysis from liberals, Marjorie Taylor Greene did not commit treason or sedition. Nobody really backed us up. A lot of people said, I was a bad person, and why did I even bother to support her? And here's where we're talking about people are calling her a traitor when she made her tweet about national divorce. So I'm showing how there's a lot of people saying you're a traitor, you're a traitor, you're a traitor, you're a disgusting traitor, you should not hold public office. A lot of people are saying, how can she hold public office, etc. And what we just showed you was that the Cornell Law School professor said she didn't do anything illegal, nor is it treasonous for her to do what she did. Treasonous, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Cornell Law School says you're wrong. Amy, transliberate, she didn't take an oath to defend the Constitution. She did something. It's treason. This is treasonous. Wrong. You're wrong too. And then we covered the actual from Cornell Law School, where the professor's from. That's a coincidence. I didn't plan that. I'm not going to be nasty. I'm just going to ask you, do you think something that the U.S. congressional representative should be saying? All these people who said she's treasonous and she can't do this and it's illegal and it's wrong are dead wrong. We said you guys were wrong, and then we just got a Cornell Law School professor, Michael Dorf, to back us up. You're all wrong. Sounds like treason to me, Ellen Barkin. Everybody is wrong. So a lot of people are saying what she did is treasonous. It is not. We actually talked to a legal professional. And then we covered some of the rules around that. Here's what he's talking about. The professor's talking about it didn't adhere. She's not adhering to their enemies or giving them aid or comfort. So that was kind of the analysis. So we did this analysis. We said that nobody backed us up, and now we finally have some support from a Cornell Law School professor saying the exact same thing. She did not commit a crime, nor did anything she do qualify as treason, and there is a legal way to secede. We hope to get a longer interview out of the professor. We hope to get more interviews, but at least we got this one thing clarified that literally nobody in the media will actually do, and a lot of people are going around and misinforming the public about the law. A lot of misinformation out there. Okay, we have another show coming up, and we'll see you very soon.